Hey, welcome! Today, we're diving into something that quietly runs our entire lives, our mindset. And look, this isn't about how much money is in your bank account. Not at all. It's about the operating system running in your head. So, let's get right into it.
So let's just kick things off with a really big question, right? What is it that truly separates the people who are always growing, always moving forward, from those who just feel, well, stuck?
The answer isn't about luck or your circumstances. It really comes down to your mindset. Think of it like a set of beliefs that shapes how you see everything, and I mean everything around you. All right, so that brings us to the first big test, how you face challenges. Because this right here is where you can really see the two mindsets split apart. Okay, so what's so fascinating here is how each one views discomfort. The poor mindset, which is usually coming from a place of fear, sees that uncomfortable feeling as a big red stop sign. It's a signal to quit. But the rich mindset, it sees that exact same feeling and thinks, aha, this is it. This is where the growth is happening. They see it as a sign they're on the right track. And I love this quote because it just nails the idea perfectly. You know that feeling when you're lifting a weight and it burns? That's not failure. That's your muscle getting stronger. It's the exact same thing for your mind.
And this idea also applies to how we deal with the results of our actions. One mindset looks outside for someone or something to blame, and in doing so, it just gives away all its power. But the other one, it looks inward. It takes responsibility. And that is how you take your power back. It's a huge shift from being a victim of your life to becoming the author of it.
So when you boil it all down, it's really about being passive versus being active. One mindset just kind of waits around for things to happen to them, hoping for a lucky break. The other one goes out and makes things happen for them by taking ownership.
Okay, so we've talked about challenges, but what about the future? How do these mindsets approach their goals? Well, this brings us to the next big idea, playing the long game. It's all about their relationship with time and rewards. This is such a critical difference. A poor mindset, it's always focused on the immediate reward, the paycheck. But a rich mindset prioritizes the long-term asset, which is the skill. They get that skills are the tools you use to build real, lasting value, long after a single paycheck is gone.
And this leads to a really powerful three-step approach. First, you focus on getting the skills. Second, you use those skills to build up your assets. And that can be anything that grows over time, like your knowledge, your network, or even actual investments. And finally, and this is maybe the hardest part, you learn to embrace the process itself, trusting that you're growing even when you can't see the results just yet.
This analogy is just perfect, isn't it? One approach creates real, living value that gets bigger and stronger over time. The other, well, it's just for show, and it starts to lose its value the moment you get it. So the question for you is, are you planting or are you just decorating?
This is all about patience. Real, meaningful growth often happens under the surface, way before anyone else can see it. A rich mindset understands this. It keeps watering the seeds, day in and day out, trusting that something amazing is happening, even when there's no visible proof.
And that brings us to our final, and maybe the most profound, difference between these two mindsets. This one is a complete shift in the fundamental reason why we do what we do. And there it is, the absolute core difference. One mindset operates from a place of scarcity. It's always thinking about taking, about what it can get for itself. The other operates from a place of abundance. It's focused on contributing. And trust me, that one change, it changes everything. So what does a giving mindset actually look like? Well, it's about seeing the world not as a competition where if someone wins, you lose. It's about seeing it as a huge collaborative project. It's the deep belief that helping other people succeed doesn't take anything away from you. In fact, it lifts everyone up. And this says it all, doesn't it? When you share your knowledge, your energy, your help, it doesn't cost you a thing. You don't lose your flame. In fact, you just create more light, more value, and more opportunity for absolutely everyone, yourself included. So as we start to wrap this up, just remember this. Shifting your mindset isn't some massive overnight thing. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It all begins with one single conscious choice to just try to see things a little differently. So I'll leave you with this question. What is one choice you'll make today? Just one. Will you decide to lean into a little bit of discomfort? Or focus on what you can learn? Or maybe just ask, what can I give? Pick one small shift.
because that's how you really begin to build a richer mind.